Hello, I'm Tim McGuire, Director of Sales and Recruiting for Tucker Advisors, and I'm here today with Karlin Tucker, the founder and CEO of Tucker Advisors. So, Karlin, what really impresses me about the company and our program is that we can provide agents and advisors with qualified appointments. And I really don't want to start right now talking about that, but could you give me a little background about you, your history in the industry, and your vision for the company?
Well, I started when I was 22 years old in the metro area of Phoenix. Lots of retirees down there, so I naturally gravitated to the senior market and had real good success. I was selling things like long-term care insurance, life insurance, Medicare supplements, annuities. And then the winter visitors left. I went to California to Leisure World in Laguna Hills area, and stayed there for 3-4 years and did a lot of sales there with retirees. My average age client was 76. I'm only 22, 23, 24 years old. Yeah. And so it taught me a tremendous amount about how to communicate and gain the trust of people that were much older than myself and much wealthier than I was at the time, of course. And so that was the launching pad. And then in about 1995, I discovered indexed annuities and began to add that to our agenda. And I just love that opportunity to talk to people about their money, about their life savings, and to protect it in retirement. In about 1998, I started my first captive shop where I had 12 advisors in the Denver metro area who I provided the office space, the seminars, the marketing, the lead program, and shared my ideas with them to see if they were transferable. We had tremendous success, sold about $45 million a year off those 12 guys when we were just getting going. And I thought, hey, that's an opportunity to capitalize on it further. Because of the success that I was having there, my personal sales, I began to get on the cover of some magazines, and the word began to spread, and my phone was ringing, and people saying, can you show me what you're doing that I'm not having that kind of success? And that launched the National Marketing Organization so that I could have a platform to share my ideas from my personal practice with everyone else. That personal practice continues to this day, and I've been very blessed by God to have had great success, been in the top of the table of the MDRT for 7 years in a row. I've been in the Chairman's Club with American Equity for 7 years in a row, and I've written millions and millions. My best month, $3.8 million. And American Equity had a contest. They offered $1 million to the guy that wrote the most. I didn't win, but I got third place and won $250,000. But I've had some great opportunity, good success. Been with over 5,000 interviews, conduct over 1,000 seminars in my career, and I feel like that I know what people think, and I'm able to get their trust and get into their head and understand what's important to them. And then we share that information in our training and our platforms to our advisors so we can circumvent the learning curve and cut it short so they can have success very quickly.
So just get into the meat and potatoes of things. You were able to take your personal practice, your marketing skill and systems, and develop those into a system that you could deliver to agents and advisors all over the country. Is that kind of how it works?
Tim, I don't think there's a shortcut to success, no magic bullet. I've spent millions and millions on marketing to try to help me figure out how to see more qualified prospects. I think most people say the number one problem they have is not enough people to see. And that was my problem early on, because the reality is everything that an advisor needs to succeed is the same things I needed. I needed lots of people to see. I needed the capital to be able to fund that program. I needed a great story to tell, and I needed to have closing abilities. And as those things gradually improved from a trial and error process and learning, the results got better and better. Today, our Karlin Tucker & Associates retail division here in Denver sees 200 appointments a month with 6 advisors. If I'm creating 200 appointments a month right now for our own staff, our own team, I know how to do it for everybody else all over the country.
And you've discovered what is working the best and what doesn't work, and then you're able to make any corrections and then really perfect that system. Can you tell me a little bit about why the appointment's such a qualified or quality appointment? Are there things that we do or you do to make sure that we're marketing to the right prospects, to the right market?
Well, of course, everyone has lists, and you try to make sure you refine those as tightly as possible. So we feel like that we are approaching the correct people. But then the message we approach them with is very compelling. Our invitations have a photo of Dr. Larry Kotlikoff. He's America's foremost expert on Social Security. We have an exclusive relationship with Dr. Kotlikoff. No other marketing organization in America has access to him with our exclusive relationship. And there's no one else that knows what Dr. Kotlikoff knows about Social Security. And then this man is amazing. He's a professor at Boston University. He's a world-class economist. He's an advisor to governments all over the world, including our own. He's recently testified to the House Ways and Means Committee on Social Security. And he's got a calculator that's phenomenal in his knowledge. And so what we do is we put his bio on the invitation. We talk about how we're going to dramatically increase your Social Security benefits. That gets us big audiences. And then Dr. Kotlikoff appears via video in our actual seminars speaking to the general public, and that elevates the credibility of the local advisor because of the relationship and the connection with Dr. Kotlikoff. The booking ratios are high. We are averaging about 80% of the people that attend these events are booking appointments with us, and so we're just having tremendous success out of them.
Oh wow! So Dr. Kotlikoff's his bio is I think really key. His credibility, and that bio, that credibility is put onto a mail invitation, and that mail invitation goes out to a qualified prospect. The prospect responds, and attendance rates are running, what would you say?
We're probably running around 1% of the mailers that we send out.
Kind of an average.
Sometimes it would be dramatically higher if it's in some area that's not heavily worked. You get in these big cities, and sometimes there's a lot of people doing it. But the thing that helps set our Social Security seminars apart from everyone else is Dr. Kotlikoff. No one else receives an invitation that says that a world-class economist and America's foremost expert on Social Security will be visiting with you via video in the workshop, and that sets us apart, gets us good attendance.
Oh. You know, as coming from the field myself, you know, I really don't like to make presentations. I just, you know, it just seems to me like a lot of work. I really am at my best when I'm just sitting in front of the prospect. What do I have to do mailers?
So you know,
how does this work?
I ask a lot of our advisors that come to our training in Denver, raise your hand if you got in the business to do seminars, and nobody's hand goes up.
Yeah.
I say, well, raise your hand if you got in the business to do radio shows and radio commercials or direct mail. No hands go up. You say, well, then let us do it for you. I've hired a team of professional seminar presenters. These men are tremendous in their speaking ability, and they will go and do the workshop for you in your town, and they will do 2 nights events for you back to back, a Monday, Tuesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, whatever. And when they leave town, you're going to have 25 to 35 preset qualified appointments. Now, these are people that have heard the message for an hour. They've met the local advisor. And you know one thing a local advisor cannot do? He can't brag about himself and pull it off in the room and have it be acceptable. But our professional presenter can come in and build him big in the eyes of the audience and say, this is the man you're meeting. If you were the guy in town and I'm the professional speaker, I'll say, Tim's the guy that you're going to see. Tim's practice is here. I'm the guest. Tim is the expert here in this arena, and I'm just here to share a message with us tonight. And that really benefits strongly for you. So now we get all these appointments, and then our ratio of people holding the appointment from the event to coming and seeing you is dramatically high. I think it's high because they feel really good about what they just experienced. The professional speaker is very good at enticing them with emotions and the facts and knowledge of good balance there of all of that. And then they recognize I've paid benefits my whole life into Social Security. I mean, I've paid taxes my whole life into Social Security to get this benefit. I need to maximize it, and I didn't realize that I had control over how much I was going to get. I thought I was going to get what I got. But now you just taught me that there's a dramatic difference. I might get $250,000 or more out of Social Security more by doing it correctly. I got to come and see you. I mean, we took our cameras on the streets of San Diego and we asked the general public, would you come to a workshop that didn't serve any food? And the audience, the general public would say, hey, I think $250,000 more is enough enticement for me to come. I mean, I don't need any food. I got to figure out how to get that $250,000. So they not only show up at the workshop, they show up at the first interview, and good things happen from there. Our closing ratios are high.
Yeah. So we're not talking at the workshop, we're not talking about just Social Security and giving the prospects a report.
Yes.
There's more to it than that.
That's
Can you talk a little bit about that?
And there has to be more to it, because the last time I checked, Tim, Social Security doesn't pay us anything for advising people on Social Security.
That's right.
So even though we use that as the lead and we have a very strong presence in the seminar and on invite for Social Security, we talk extensively about annuities and financial advising, and we even have the real benefits chart of American Equity in our seminar, and we talk about that. In fact, this is interesting, Tim. Even though I'm heavy on Social Security and we intertwine all these other things, the dominant thing people want to talk about, first and foremost in the first interview, is that real benefits chart on that fixed indexed annuity, that hybrid annuity. They want to know how that works. Explain that to me more. Even though they come for Social Security, that's the hot button. And so we set the table at the seminar to be able to talk in the first interview about their managed money, about their annuities, about the need for annuities if they have none, about Social Security, about estate planning, life insurance, whatever you want to offer as an advisor. It's set the table for you, and you have the freedom to go do that. Now, what they're bringing to that first interview is their earnings record from Social Security. They went on the website, we showed them how to do it, and they bring it to you so it's quick and efficient. They also are bringing you their brokerage statements and their financial statements, and so they're ready to go to talk about everything. It's all interconnected. I think one of the shortcomings of our competitors' Social Security seminars are that they only talk about Social Security. You get to the first interview and they're all fired up about that, and they don't want to talk about their money. They don't want to talk about, they're happy with their advisor, they say. Well, we get them disturbed with their advisor, and they're willing to talk about the whole kit and caboodle, everything affecting their retirement in that first interview, and that's a quality interview.
Yeah, when I'm talking to agents and advisors on a daily basis, they're really telling me that the FMOs, the competitors that we work with out there, really don't have a complete program. They may have a seminar package. They really, that's about it. And it's something that really the FMO or the competitor is trying to just sell a kit or a package.
Yeah.
And they just don't have the complete program. What happens after the seminar? The appointments are set. A lot of agents will say, you know, the transition part into the appointment, how do we handle that? Is that connected to the system as well? Karlin, could you talk about that a
Tim,
little?
a moment ago I said that everything that an advisor needs to succeed are the same things that I need to succeed. I'm in personal production, I write a lot of premium, and the way that happens is I've got to be able to have a quality individual sitting in front of me as frequently as possible, preferably 3 or 4 times a day, 5 days a week, and then they've got to be willing to hear my message, be motivated to want to talk to me about it, show me everything they've got so we can have a transparent, open discussion here, and then I've got to have a powerful presentation and the ability to close them. We teach that entire process from start to finish. It does no good to put a prospect that's qualified in front of a guy that doesn't know what to do next. Or that struggles with what to do next. It doesn't do any good to take a person that's unqualified and put in front of a talented individual and they've got no money. It doesn't do any good to have a talented individual like yourself and have no one sitting in this chair for you to see all day long. The only way you make money is when you're presenting to people, and we want to make that happen as many hours as possible in the day. There's 2,050 hours in a year on a payroll system. Our staff gets 2,050 hours of pay per year. How many of those 2,050 hours are most advisors in front of prospects? Maybe 10% of that, maybe 200 hours. But we'll show you how to be in front of prospects and having quality appointments with a great presentation as frequently as you want. You want to do that a couple times a day, 4 times a day? We have the ability to get you that busy. And now, not only are you going to be busy, but when you're sitting across the table from a qualified prospect, you have the ability to come to our training, and we will show you everything to do from step 1 to A to Z in that process. And this is not assuming you don't already know a lot. I know that most of our advisors are already talented, they have skills and are doing great, but could I ask you a question? Are you making as much money as you want to make? And if the answer is no, then would you let me show you how to make more? Because for years I was driven that I wasn't making enough. I started out and I was told at 22 years old if I worked really hard I could make $1,000 a week. That's $52,000 a year. My peers are making $265 minimum wage, and I'm thinking that's crazy. How can you do that? Well, there came a day very quickly when I made $52,000 for the year. I thought, hey, instead of having the goal be $1,000 a week, how about $1,000 a day? So I set that, and next thing you know, I make $365,000 a year. What do you got to do then? Set a new goal. So for years, Tim, for many, many years, over a decade, I've made well over $1 million a year, and most of those years over $2 million a year from personal sales. Now that doesn't happen by not having a system that isn't refined and thought through over and over to make it as efficient as possible. And I can assure you that even if you have average skill sets, if you're in front of qualified prospects and then let us hone your skills, you're going to make more money than you've ever made before. And I know how to do it. We're doing it now. I do it in my personal practice, and I'll be happy to show you everything that I know.
So we get the appointments, we deliver the appointments, and then we have a good training program.
Yes.
And that really just shows those agents exactly how they can talk to and go over the appointment, the prospects, financial programs, all of their information. Is there anything else that we have? I know, when you do a prospect mailing, we typically will mail to about 10,000 prospects, qualified prospects. Is there anything else that we do to continue to market to some of those prospects or to help the agent have additional tools,
Yeah.
I guess would be the word,
Well,
to help them.
we do a tremendous amount of work to continue the support and the process for the agent's learning and his knowledge, as well as his touching those advisors. So we have a website that's very powerful. We're able to drip on those agents' clients. Have a prospect and they didn't sell, they can put them in the system. We have a system called CAMS, Client Agent Management System, and it allows you to interact with your prospects and your clients on a regular basis, weekly, monthly, however you want, by emails and communications, so you keep your name in front of them. When people have RMDs coming up, the system can alert you, and so you've got a chance for another sale there. Some people don't want their RMDs. Maybe you can use that to fund life insurance as an ongoing premium. There's a lot of choices there. But backing up for a moment, we have a program called Art of Selling, and it's a 3-day school. I teach 12 hours of that 3 days, and we go great into depth on how to increase your closing skills and your closing ratios. We even do objection battles live in front of the advisors there, and if we were doing one now and you were playing the part of the prospect and I'm trying to sell you, you would play the part of giving me a really hard time, and you would give me objections that are difficult to overcome. In fact, to make sure that you give me the audience's objections of the advisors in the room, we have them oftentimes write their objections on 3x5 cards and feed them to you so that you've got all of their ideas as well as your own. And for anywhere from 20 minutes to 40 minutes, depending on how many objections we want to work over, we will do a battle here, you and I, and I'll do my best to close the deal with you. And it's real world situations. We've also recorded those on our website, so you can watch those behind the login once you're an advisor of ours. So a tremendous amount of training there. We have our own recording studio in our offices where we record for TV and radio commercials and promotions, as well as sales training. And we're in there on a regular basis all the time. It's so convenient to just jump right in there. And we've got the retail side, right? So we go over there and we move some big money, and we say, hey, we did some things here that were a little unique in this state. Well, let's run over to the recording studio, record what we just did. For example, we just had a sale on KTNA, and the advisor told the client told our advisor that you've got less than a 5% chance of selling me in the second interview, but I'll go ahead and visit with you and I'll book a second interview. Well, that kind of shocked the guy, and the problem was that our advisor had not done a good job of asking questions. You see, telling is not selling. Asking questions is selling. In fact, if I were to now ask you questions like you've been me, really, right now, Tim, you're controlling this interview. You're asking me questions and I'm responding to them.
Right.
If this is a sales situation, I want to reverse it. I want to ask you questions so that I can be in control of this interview and I can lead it in the direction we need to go and learn all that I need to know about you. If all I do is talk and give a sales pitch, I'm never going to close the deal, because you're going to say you got to think about it, and I never even made a connection. So we go through all of that process. That guy that said less than a 5% chance, I'd love to have the time, I don't now, to tell the story. You can come and visit with us and we'll tell you the full story along with others. But the guy in the second interview gave us $700,000.
Wow.
Now, what happened between first and second interview, we recorded. It's available for you on CD. It's taught in our academies, and we do that over and over again, those real-world experiences to increase your knowledge.
Wow, that in-house group of advisors is really strong to really help perfect the program. I can see that. So you provide your presentation material in the Art of Selling training, and you go through the transition from the seminar, the appointment, the first appointment. And can you talk a little bit about that appointment process again? Is it usually a 1-call, a 2-call close?
Yeah.
And how does that work a little bit?
Yeah, let me go through the problem. When you come to Denver, you get to see a live seminar. So that's the marketing part. You see it for yourself. Seeing is believing. And if you sit in an audience with the general public, and with the general public between you and the speaker, and you know that the speaker and our staff has never met that general public, and then you watch 80% of those households book appointments voluntarily, and they didn't have to do it. And then you get to see the appointment process live back in our office. We'll walk you right through how that works. First interview, second interview, closing, the whole shebang, and the transitions between the first interview and the second, between the seminar and the first, between the first and the second, and what you need to do to make sure that all of that happens. I tell folks that in every interview, one of 3 things has to happen. You either make a sale, you get a second appointment, or you find out what went wrong. Otherwise, you've wasted your time and probably the prospects, and you aren't improving your ability to make a close. So we're really successful at helping identify maybe where your weaknesses are and your strengths, and following through that process. One of the things that all of us struggle with is sometimes insecurity. And we actually will spend a number of hours in this training session helping you to understand that you're okay. Not only are you okay, you have tremendous skill sets. You're made in the image of God. You have a lot to offer. Your knowledge is tremendous, and there's no reason to beat yourself up. And selling is the transfer of enthusiasm. If I'm excited about what I'm offering to you and you pick up on that, the chances are pretty good you're going to want to do business with me. But if I'm beating myself up inside because somehow I feel bad about things, then I'm not gonna probably have as much success. They say the best time to make a sale is right after you just made one. And why is that, Tim? Because my confidence went up. We're going to help you build your confidence to a level it hasn't been before, and we're going to continue to reinforce that with our business developers who are extremely knowledgeable and gifted and talented. Those guys sell themselves. I mean, many of our business developers are writing between $500,000 and $1.5 million annually from stuff we feed them from overflows, and so they're living right where you're living. And I don't know of another wholesale operation in America, another marketing organization that has a real retail practice right in its offices with business developers dedicated to supporting you who also have the ability to sell and have been selling. Uniqueness there, along with Dr. Kotlikoff.
Neat. Well, I'd like you to talk to me a little bit about the product. I know, a lot of agents out there that I talk to, they're not, necessarily thinking that the product might be the best, and I think maybe it's just, you hear a lot of things about annuities and that kind of word.
Right.
Would you mind talking a little bit about the product itself?
Sure. Well, the first thing is you got to recognize that when the word annuity is said, most of the general public is thinking of the concept of annuitizing. They're thinking of a payment stream. They don't recognize it's actually a tremendous investment that can grow tax deferred. So when you win the lottery, they tell you, do you want cash or annuity? And people say, oh, I know what annuity means. It's an income stream, and it means that I don't get the cash.
Right.
Well, with our product line, you can keep control of the lump sum of the cash you give us and have an income stream that will last as long as you live. So it's not your grandfather's annuity. These things have changed. They're powerful. The annuity has got the opportunity to participate in a volatile world, in a volatile market, and protect the downside. I've done over 5,000 interviews, I mentioned earlier, and you know what's amazing to me, Tim, in all those portfolios I've seen? Most portfolios are devoid of downside protection. They're all positioned for one position or one direction only, the up. But when the market goes down, and it does frequently, then they lose their shirt to give back the gains. And they have unrealized gains. And in all my 32 years of business, I've never met anyone that retired on unrealized gains. You got to capture them. And so the indexed annuity on autopilot every 12 months captures those gains. As the result of that, according to Dr. David Babel, the professor of the Wharton School of Business, who did a study over 2 years with other actuaries and professors, discovered that the indexed annuity outperformed the S&P 500 for 16 years in a row. How is that possible when you don't get all of the up? Because we get none of the down. You see, most people's diversified portfolios, they get some of the up and some of the down. Fair enough, they're diversified. Well, we live in an imperfect world too, and I'm not offering you perfection. My imperfect indexed annuity gets some of the up but none of the down. And listen to this, moderate returns that never experience a loss will outperform a volatile market over time. And there's a chart, the real benefits chart from American Equity. This is not hypothetical. This is the real performance of one of their indexed annuities going back for 16 years, shows the green line, the annuity, way above what the S&P 500 value is. How's that possible? We just don't ever give anything back. So I think when it comes to looking at people's portfolios, whether you do managed money or whatever, there's a need for an indexed annuity for a portion of the dollars to be put into that because it's not duplication of effort. There's nothing else in their portfolio that works like this. All of the time, the money in the annuity is safe, and all of the time, the money in the annuity has opportunity. In a diversified portfolio, you got bonds, that's safe. You got CDs of the bank, that's safe. You got money markets, that's safe, but that doesn't have opportunity. Over here, you got stocks and mutual funds that has opportunity, and it's not safe. In the indexed annuity, all the money is safe all the time, and all of it has opportunity all of the time. So it works differently, right? And not to mention that the withdrawal rates in indexed annuities can be 4, 5, or 6% annually, depending on your age and your joint or single payout. What's the new rule according to Money Magazine, Wall Street Journal, and Dr. Fowle, who have done research on the withdrawal rate on the market? It used to be a 4% rule, that you could take 4% out and not run out of money. Today they say, no, the market can't sustain 4%. That's too high a withdrawal rate. The new number is closer to 2%. Well, that cuts your income in half. That's devastating. So don't go and sit there in the market with $500,000 thinking I got to grow it to $1 million, so 2% will finally get me $20,000 a year in income, where 2% of 500 now is only $10,000. Move the $500,000 into an indexed annuity if it's suitable and appropriate, and get a 4, 5, or 6% withdrawal rate, depending on your age again, and have double or triple the income off of that portfolio. We actually show that to people, and they realize they could retire today, not in 5 years, not in 7 years, but today, because the income is so much higher than they thought was possible. This is good news. It's enthusiasm that's transferable to them, and people get excited about it, and a sale happens.
So prospects say to the agents, my money's tied up, it's not liquid, are there surrender penalties? All of these things and product you teach in the art of selling.
Yeah. You know, let's just talk about the liquidity just for a minute because we don't have time to go through all of it. But it's true that annuities are not 100% liquid. But if liquidity is your highest priority, Tim, in your family, then where can you put your money? Well, let's see, maybe a money market, maybe a checking account under the mattress. Where is all your money? Oh, you're in the stock market. Well, then you are violating your own principle because the money in the market isn't always 100% liquid. There was once when you had 100,000, now you got 70,000. How long do you have to wait to get back to 100? That's not liquidity. And so if the priority is to have your money all liquid, you'll never make much. So I think the priority in your life probably is to keep your money safe, to have it grow reasonably, to manage your taxes, and to have appropriate liquidity. How much liquidity do you need? Indexed annuities offer 10% per year. We just talked about a 4% rule being reduced to 2%. And we're going to let you have 10 per year without any penalties? Shame on us. That's too much. Do you realize, Tim, at 10% a year and 100 grand, you've blown your money in 10 years? So just, let me ask you a question. Do you have a plan in place right now to spend all your life savings in the next 10 years? No, right?
Yeah, no.
Well, that's how fast I'll let you spend it. So there probably isn't an issue about liquidity. It's just one that's perceived but not real.
Yeah. We have a business development staff at Tucker Advisors. I wondered if you could talk a little bit about that as it ties in with helping the agent, take kind of the work off their table, the back office work, the case design, those kinds of things. I know that's important, especially if the agent is seeing 3 to 4 to 5 people each day.
So Tim, if you were to start your own financial practice for advising the general public here in Denver, and you're going to hang your shingle out, and it says Tim's Financial Advisory Firm, what do you need to have success? You need to have everything, right? You probably need to have admin people. We can help you find that. We have a tremendous HR department. You're going to need maybe legal support. We can help you with that. You're going to need to have marketing. We've got a tremendous marketing department that can help you with websites and logos and designs and get you in front of prospects, and the marketing that we've got through our professional seminar presenters to get you appointments, not leads, but appointments, and get you busy right away. You're going to need products. We have a plethora of products. You need to have support from the business development team that will help your knowledge to increase about not only the products, but what about tax laws? What about, I want to make sure I don't harm them when I move money from here to here. How can I move that money? Can I ACAT it over? What's the most efficient way to avoid the conservation effort? Can I learn about getting the money into annuities and then generating income streams that will be staggered to offset inflation? Will my business developer teach me all that? And the answer is yes, yes, and yes. They'll do case design work for you. They will help you understand all the processes of your business. Now, they'll do more than that because they're business developers, not just sales developers. In addition to all of the sales process they can help with, they'll help you build your business. And boy, building a business, a well-rounded one, is critical. That means you want reoccurring revenue. That either means that you're managing money or you're taking some trail commissions on your annuity side of things. You want to have a marketing plan. You want to plan your whole year out. Right now is a great time to be planning the following year. You want to make sure that you've got your plan in place and then work your plan. And they will help you with all of that scheduling. They'll help you with goal setting. They'll talk to you about your overcoming your weaknesses. They'll get to know you really well. They'll help you find administration staff so you're not shoving paperwork around at $15, $20 an hour, but in sitting in front of people. Can you imagine what life would be like, Tim, if all you had to do, because you had assistants, and you have a marketing organization that does everything else for you, is you just meet with people all day long. First interview, second interview, sometimes a third. And some are, on the first you're probably not closing. On seconds you're probably closing. So almost every day you have a shot at actually making money, going to the bank on that day if you'd like. And because if money transfers with the app through ACATs or whatever that we can help you with, you're going to get paid tomorrow on some of this stuff. If you make a sale today, the cash flow can be significant. The success can be beyond what you maybe imagined.
So I would have a full-time personal business development individual dedicated to me.
Yep.
And are they new? Are these people new?
These
How long have they been around?
The average age, let's see, let me think about this. The average age of our business developers is probably 50 years old. And
Okay.
these guys have been in the business for many, many, many years. And some of their backgrounds are in the brokerage business, working for wirehouses. Some of their backgrounds were in mortgage and banking. And they all understand the arena that we're working in now. They are tested on a regular basis every month on their knowledge. And we keep bringing in additional information from estate planning attorneys, from CPAs, from sales guys. We learn from our top advisors around the country, and then my personal practice acts as a test bed for everything. Our KT&A division is a research and development division, so that when we show an idea to one of our advisors, we aren't testing it on you. We've already tried true, it's tried, true, and proven. For example, I have a brand new seminar that I'm developing right now. I've already presented it, already have appointments from it, working the process through, and after a few more times where we get the bugs worked out of it and successful, that will be our third venue that we offer for seminars. Professional speakers are available to come out and deliver these things for you, and it gives you a lot of variety. So if you're working the same zip codes over and over, maybe eventually whatever the topic is, Social Security, whatever, doesn't pull as strongly as it once did. So interject one of our other workshops in there. The process that you sell in the interview is identical. This is just a little different marketing. So you can have marketing coming from here, marketing coming from here, business developers helping you walk through the process. Our training is available every month. We hold the sessions every month. And so you've got access to all the support and help you would ever need.
Well, Karlin, talk to us now about the numbers of appointments we can expect, what it would cost, something about costs,
Sure.
and then kind of finalize with kind of the commission that we might. Commission's interesting.
Yeah.
We like to earn the commission.
Yeah. So we're as competitive as any other marketing organization. We offer a plethora of products and platforms, and so you've got the opportunity to visit lots of folks. So let's say you have a professional presenter come out, that costs you $2,900. You mail out 10,000 pieces, and that's going to cost you maybe somewhere around $5,000, 50 cents a piece, 60 cents a piece, something like that. We have better pricing than most companies. So maybe you're at $8,000 or $9,000 if you throw in food, which is optional because our events will pull people to venues that don't require food. So you're either at $8,000 or maybe say $10,000 on the high side for this thing if you threw in food. And that includes the professional speaker. Let me talk about him just for a moment.
Okay.
His fee is $2,900. We make no money on that. That pays for airfare, travel, his speaking fee, his hotel, his meals, all of his expenses. And that's a seminar insurance for you. And why is that true? Because this guy will get you 75, 80, 85% of the audience to close into appointments for you. And he'll do it every time you have him come out. In fact, proof of the success is in the fact that our advisors use these guys over and over and over. They wouldn't hire them again if they didn't get great results, right? And so, can you get an extra $50,000 of sales out of a workshop, out of a seminar, by having this professional presenter present? That question is definitely yes. I mean, our guys are writing $400,000, $500,000, $600,000, $1 million off of a single event. So if you get $50,000 at 6% commission, that's $3,000. The professional presenter cost you $2,900. You just paid for that whole entire deal by writing an additional $50,000. Can he get you $500,000, $550,000? He didn't cost you anything then. In fact, what will cost you is to not have the success from the event. To pay out $8,000 to $10,000 for an event and not be sure you're going to get appointments, that's where the risk lies. So we take the risk out of it. So now you've got 25, 30, 35 appointments. Let's just take the middle number 30 there. Can you close how many? You know, I ask people what are the closing ratios. They'll say, well, 50%. I'll say, no, that's probably pretty high. Not many people can close 50% unless all your business is coming from referrals maybe. But we're talking about people you've never met before. So let's say you closed 20%. That's pretty conservative. 20% of 30 appointments is 6 sales. If you averaged $100,000, and our advisors average $121,000, our KT&A advisors average about $200,000. But if you averaged $100,000 to 6, that's $600,000. If your commission is 8%, that's $48,000. Maybe it cost you $8,000 without food, you pocket $40,000. Maybe it cost you $10,000, you pocket $38,000. And the question I then have is, do you want to do that once a year, once a quarter, once a month, or once a week? I mean, you can be as busy as you want, because once the money comes back to you, it's how frequently do you want to repeat it, right? And it just amazes me that some guys will only do this maybe once every 3 or 4 months. And I guess if that's all the harder you want to work and that's all the more money you want to make, that's fine, that's up to them. But the opportunity is there to allow you to be as busy as you want, which means that translates in income. What happens if you made $40,000 a month? You do that for 12 months in a row, you're looking at $500,000 of income. Not many individuals in this business make $500,000 a year. But I know how to get you there because I'm already doing it. In fact, here's a great question to ask of our listeners. Would you tell us the name of the person at your current marketing organization, or if you have several, the name of that person who's in personal sales, who's personally responsible for your success? That name of that person in our company is Karlin Tucker. What's the name of that person at your company? And if you can't think of a name or there is no such name, you ought to talk to us.
Yeah. And it has to cost a lot of money not to be sitting in front of 3 to 4 people every day.
Yeah, that's where the real expense is, isn't it? Because let's say you sat in front of 4 people a day and you have a 25% closing ratio, you're closing 1 a day, and you're closing $100,000. That's at 8% commission, that's $8,000 a day you can be making, that's $40,000 a week. You could be making that $40,000 weekly, not monthly. It just depends on how frequent you want to do it. I used to think it wouldn't be possible to do enough marketing to get me 4 appointments a day. And then American Equity offered the $1 Million Contest. So I started doing seminars every Tuesday night and Thursday night every week for 6 months during the contest. I wrote more money than I'd ever written in my life. I was busier than I ever had before and had greater success. And the best thing about that contest is it taught me that I could work harder and more efficiently than I had before. Now, this is not about being a workaholic. I have a family life. I don't work on Saturdays. I teach a Sunday school class on Sundays. I'm involved in my church. I love the weekends. We have a mountain home we enjoy. And I don't work on Friday afternoons either. I have a very good quality life, but when I'm at work, I want to be in front of prospects or clients. I want to be in front of them as many hours during the day as possible. I don't want to answer the phones. I've got admin to do that. I don't want to do emails. I got admin for that. I don't want to fill out applications. I've got admin that'll come in and do that. I just want to talk to you, Tim, until you are convinced that this is the right thing to do, and then I can transfer you over to my staff, and they will take care of you. And anytime you need to talk to me, I'm always available. But you don't always have to talk to me about every little thing. I find my staff can help with that. That frees me up to go talk to the next individual, and you can have a very efficient practice that way.
And you're conducting most of the training that we have on our program, right, Karlin?
Yeah,
I mean, you're doing most of that.
Yeah, I have to spend time out 3 days a month for the Art of Selling training. We're doing road shows. We travel for that. And I do my own seminars, so I've got that in the evenings. And so I stay very busy, but it's a really a rewarding life. I just love what I do because I'm helping so many individuals. I mean, when you get done, they want to give you a hug, you know something's gone right. When you get done with the workshop and they raise their hand and say, what all do you want us to bring to the appointment? And I'll say, well, I want you to bring your earnings record for Social Security. The document we just gave you shows you how to get that. I want you to bring your broker statements, your financial statements. They're like, oh, okay, and they're writing this stuff down.
Yeah.
And then they bring it to the first interview. Now you've got something that's transferable into sales in that interview process. And I'd love to have guys exposed to this. Once you get in this system, you never want to leave it.
Wow. And it sounds like this is just really, this program is far and above any other IMO, any other FMO out there. I've never seen anything like it personally. I can say that with complete truthfulness and honesty myself. Karlin, could you please just kind of recap everything again that we provide in the system, how we get people there, the appointments, the training, and just kind of recap it.
Just one big picture. I would say one of the reasons that makes us different is that I don't know of another competitor of ours that has the founder and CEO that's in a personal practice, that's the manager of a retail division. I meet with my KTNA guys every Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock for an hour, and then they're free to come to my office whenever they have other issues, and they also use the same business developers that are available to you to support them on their case designs and on the actual process through that. So do you have a marketing organization that has the founder and the CEO fully vested in your life, in your practice, and is managing a retail practice and is doing personal sales? That's entirely different than what you're experiencing. When you were some of these firms, the guys that run the firm, they couldn't sell themselves out of a bag, or if they did, it used to be years ago and they've lost touch. Things change. And so we're current and we're relevant with that. We offer the A word and not the L word, appointments and not leads. We cut the process. Do you know that if we get you 30 appointments for $8,000, the cost per appointment is below $300 an appointment, and you can go to the internet and pay $275 for an internet lead. How many leads do you need to get one appointment? We're offering you appointments for under $300. It doesn't get any more efficient than that with your dollars. If I showed up to your town, Tim, on Wednesday morning, and we met for breakfast, and I hand you 30 appointments, and I need $8,000 back for that, and they're qualified, preset day and time, they're ready to meet you, you're like, hey, I'll do that. And what happens was Monday night and Tuesday night, I was there doing your seminar for you. You didn't even have to show up if you didn't want to. I got the appointments for you. Your bio was in their packets, your picture's on the screen, it's your town, I built you up big. You weren't there, but they're now going to visit you and look forward to seeing you. It can be that efficient. And so we offer that in the marketing. I can get you as busy as you want to be. We have a marketing department that can make you shine and look great with your clients and your prospects, make you big in town. Can you imagine this, Tim? What if you became known as the most knowledgeable individual in your town on how to get people the most out of Social Security? And the word starts spreading around town. You want to get everything out of Social Security, you got to go see Tim. Well, that's what we can do for you in your community, make you that individual. And word of mouth starts spreading, and that doesn't cost anything. So we'll build you up big through our marketing department. We will support your sales through our business development team. And those guys are extremely knowledgeable and will help you get the very best and the most that's suitable and appropriate out of each household to make the highest compensation. We pay you compensation at whatever level you're at now. So whatever you're making, you don't take a haircut to get all this extra help and support. So figure out your own commission level times $500,000, $600,000 a month in premium as a minimum amount. Now we have a lot of advisors that write a lot of money, and we have testimonies we'd be happy to share with you of guys that came to us that were making $100,000 to $200,000 a year and now making over $1 million a year. It's not rocket science. It's a method. It's a system that you can be plugged into. And I don't believe there's such a thing as a natural born salesman. I was not that person. I've never met one. It's all a process of learning. It's enthusiasm. It's learning how to ask questions, build the need big, and then put out the fire with your solution. And we'll show you how to exactly do that. We have analogies built around that. And we have a complete practice with an R&D division, so nothing is tested on you. It all works before you ever get it in your hands. I don't know how to make it more efficient than that. It's a turnkey company for you, and you got to try us. If you've never been with us, never experienced that, I know that you've gone and seen a lot of dog and pony shows probably around the country, but we're different. We're going to let you sit in the audience. We'll see us do it live. I will demonstrate live in front of you, in front of the audience, objection battles. We created a document called, a file folder called an Objectidex. And it has every major objection you've ever heard of why people don't want to buy annuities and the answer to overcome that. I don't hear new stuff anymore. After 5,000 interviews, the people don't have new ideas anymore. So I know what you're going to be up against. I'll show you how to overcome it.
What are you going to charge me for this beautiful website? It has high definition videos on the site.
Yeah.
Dr. Kotikoff,
Yeah.
David Babel,
Yeah.
yourself, some of the experts
Right.
out, and I know it costs a lot. What are you going to charge me for the website? How about Dr. Kotlikoff's calculator,
Right.
the CRM? What is that all going to cost?
By the way, Tim, I don't know if I mentioned this to you before, but we spent $600,000 on the video production on that website, and no one individual could do that. Wouldn't justify it, right? So we make that website available to all of our individual advisors by customizing each one. We put your name, your company colors on it, your bio, your information, and it's all searchable by Google to you. So they find you as the local expert, and we don't charge a thing for it. We just want to make an override on you, and we want to earn it maybe in a way that you haven't ever had your override earned before. I encourage the general public to take their money from their left pocket and put it in their right pocket and have it work harder for them. Cut their fees down because they move from managed money in mutual funds and stocks into an annuity that maybe has no fees or lower fees, and now they get lifetime income and downside protection and capture the gains. That's a huge advantage. So as an advisor, I want you to move your relationship from your left pocket to your right pocket and have us give you a whole lot more for the override we're earning. We're going to earn our pay with you like you've never had before. You're going to feel great about this. So it doesn't cost a thing for the services that we're offering and the support.
Wow, I'm interested. I want to learn more. How do I do that? Can I come and see the workshop live? See
every
the operation?
month you have the opportunity to come into Denver. In fact, even though I make $1 million or $2 million, depending on the year, annually from just personal sales alone, it won't cost you a dime to learn how to do that. In fact, we will spend our nickel to get you to Denver. If you qualify, I'll pay for the airfare and bring you on into town, and you can spend some time at the event, learn how we're doing all this, see it for live, meet me, shake my hand, meet our business developers, tour the offices, see our marketing department, our recording studio, look at the KTNA operation, look through the windows as they're conducting interviews. They'll be doing it all the time. No matter when you come, there's always interviews going on, including Saturdays for the KTNA team. And so you'll get to come and experience all of that. We hold them frequently, but you got to give us a call because we limit it to small quantities so that we can have a personal touch with each individual. And so if it fills up, then you'd have to wait for the next session. But you can give us a call at 1-800-734-0076, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions and get your reservation.
Thank you, Karlin.
Yeah.
I've enjoyed this today, and I
yeah.
look forward to working with you down the road, and I think the listeners are also excited. Give us a call and
Sure.
maybe give out your website as well.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and give us a call at the 800 number. That's 1-800-734-0076. Or you can reach us and check us out more online at TuckerAdvisors.com. TuckerAdvisors.com. And when you have questions on that website, call that 800 number, 1-800-734-0076, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you have a question you feel like no one can answer and you need to have extra help, then get a hold of my secretary, my personal assistant, Caroline, and we'll see if we can't connect, and I'll be happy to address whatever issue you have. So, hey, I wish you the great selling and the best of everything in life, and I know that we can help you get to the next level. Give us that opportunity. Hope to talk to you soon.